Welcome back. So this is the second session, and let's go to VS Code. Okay, which is most probably this one. Okay. Yeah, so we have covered week one, and most of the time I write files like this by the topics, and we have covered last week, if you remember. We just used to test, maybe we have been printing, and we covered arithmetics. What is this? No, we don't need that. And we learn comments, data types, and numbers and strings, yeah, whatsoever. But today I will just go through every topic we have covered. Yeah, so I will create a file called revision.py. So because this is going to be in the week one revision, so I just put it there in week one. So any Python file should have the .py extension, and we learned the print built-in function. So this built-in function takes actually parameters, different arguments. It could be one or plenty. For instance, hello, everyone. Yeah, so you can drag this up and you can open the terminal, but I'm not exactly at this. The best way to open where you
question.
are.
Are you recording already, or this revision is not recorded, but the actual session?
I think it's recording.
It's recording. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's recording. So as you can see, now I'm not there. You can go cd desktop and cd Python like this. But if this is difficult for you, don't worry. You just click here, right click, or maybe I think it's better if I right click, open an integrated terminal, then Python, and then the name of the file, just R, and then tab. Now, hello everyone. But if this is also too much for you, just run here. Yeah, you just click this. Great. Print 2021. Yeah. I see. Now we managed to print numbers. Maybe if you want to additional current year, the other side might make more sense. Current year. And again, just click here and just to get values. I think by now everybody know how to print something. What is something? So now let me show you how to write a comment. This is using the hash, you write comment. Comment means actually some text that is not executed by the program or the computer actually. So this is just a remark whenever you want to leave some comment or some text, some explanation about your code, you use comment. This is single line comment. And if you want to have multi-line comment, you can say this is a multi-line comment, and it goes in multiple lines. Yeah, great. So if I run, as you can see, this doesn't get executed, only this. Okay, now let's talk about, so now if you know how to comment, I can use the comment just to write as a note also for me. Let's talk about data types. Okay, you have to take a point here. Whenever, when we talk about programming, actually it's all about data types. So in any way, in any case, if you are writing some code, you are dealing with data types. Functions return data types, operators use some data types. So in one way or the other, we are dealing with data types. What are the data types? Actually, last time we were saying that we have numbers. Specifically in Python, we have integer, we have float, and we have complex number. Yeah, and another booleans, true or false, right? Or string, or list, or set, or tuple, or dictionary. These are actually the core or the main data types of Python. Okay, now let's talk about numbers. Let's print 10. As you can see, yeah, this is just 10 is an integer. Everybody knows it, right? Yeah, it's 10. And let's know the data type of 10. To know a data type, we have this type function, a built-in function you don't worry or you don't care about, because this is available globally, just you use it, okay? Someone already made for you to use it. Of course, at some point you will work your own, you will make your own function. So 10. So I think from this we should get an int data type. Yeah, great. But how about if our data was like print 3.14? Actually, this is pi, and if you just check, it is 3.4. And let's also check the type, 3.14. And if you check it, actually it's a float, yeah? So print another number, maybe 1 plus 2j. Yeah, this is the structure of a complex number, right? And if you write, you may get something like this, but let's check print type of 1 plus 1j.
Sorry, Asaf, if I interrupt you, sorry.
What?
I was saying, like, for instance, in your comment, the sign you put to one line comment, but 2 lines, it did not have below. If you go below a little bit, this one, let's the one saying let's talk about data types. You wrote 2 lines. In my case, when I put like that, I have to put triple quotation for the. Is it possible to put just this sign and just one line comment?
Yeah, I got it. Yes. In my case, if you see, actually it's one line, but because of the because the space is not enough, it's wrapped. So the reason why I have this setting wrap, let's see, word wrap on.
Because
If I
gives me an error when I put that one. Okay, good. Thanks.
Yeah, if I remove this, this will be in one line. But now it looks like in 2 lines, actually it is in one line. For just readability purpose, it is in 2 line, yeah?
Okay, good. Okay.
So you should change this wrapper, word wrap, you come to here, settings, and then you just write here wrap, and word wrap, you can just change it from off to on, and then that's what you do. But if it's just too much for you, just change it to, again, this. Why not? An easy solution also. Yeah. Sometimes when things doesn't work, for the time being, please go for an easy solution. Okay, that's really good. Great.
And the line number is 12 all the time, so it's
Hmm?
the line number is 12, even though it's in 2 lines. So I think that explains.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, that's a clever, yeah, yes, yeah, that's true. Okay, let's move on. Okay, great. Where was I? So we have seen a different data types, guys, and so these are just numbers. So if we have numbers, we do operators. For instance, adding it, we may have like a 3 and b is equal to 4, right? So you can add these guys, for instance, total of those a plus b. And last time I told you, whenever, so what does that mean? Actually, this is actually is a variable. So I am storing a at S3 at A. So this is an assignment operator. This is, of course, we will talk about also operators. Operators are arithmetic operators. And what are the comparison operators? I think, why I write 2 times there. Arithmetic operators, comparison operators, logical operators, and what operators do we have? Assignment operators. Yeah, so this is an assignment operator. So we're assigning 3 to A, 4 to B, and now we add these two guys together and we assign the two total. And if you print this, you should get I think everybody should know that 7, right? Yeah. Okay, it's 7. So it's good to the total is something like this, and then you know where that value is actually coming. Yeah. So you can go the same by just duplicating this difference, the difference of A and B, and product of A times B. Yeah, in mathematics, we just use this sign, right? Yeah, this. Yeah, but actually in computer programs or programming language, we use this, the star or asterisk, okay? And then division, A by B, and remainder, I told you, B. So what's the remainder of this? 3 divided by 4, and what's the remainder?
There is no remainder.
Yes, there is no remainder. That means 0 then. Okay, great. So let's see, print the difference and just put difference here and print the product, and then you write product print the division and div. Sound like the HTML div, but not anyway. The remainder, and let's see remainder and see the result. As you can see, the total is 7, the difference is -1. That's true. The product is 12, and the division is 0.5, and the remainder of, yeah, actually, yes, it should be 3. that it's not 0, it's 3, because I will explain to you. You have 3 and 4, right? We are trying to divide 3 by 4. Actually, 3 is not enough to be divisible by 4, so your value will remain 3. That's the concept here. And let's do more floor division. Floor division is actually 3 by, no, sorry, by b, and let's do exponential, exponent like this, a. Yeah, these are what we have learned last time. So print the floor division of a number and the floor division, and print the exponential, and so what do you expect the floor division of this? Do you remember floor division? That means removing the remainder. I mean the value without the remainder. So when you divide 3 by 4, I think it's going to be 0 because it doesn't.
0, I think this one.
Yeah, the floor division is 0. Okay, a the power of 3 the power of 4, it could be it should be 81, as you can see. Yeah, so this is what we have been doing last week. And yes,
Yeah, like when you wrote the complex number 1 plus 2j,
yes,
yeah, if I write it like 1 plus 2a, it shows error. Like, is there any certain number in Python
1 plus
2a?
no complex number. That's not a complex number.
Okay.
This is the structure of a complex number. It's j. I think it's j or I. Maybe does it go as I? No, it's j only. It's
Okay,
not
it's
like.
only j. Okay.
Yeah, for instance, if you write like 1 plus b or 3b, this is not a complex number. This is just some expression a plus 3 times of b variable, okay? So it should be j to show that it's a complex number.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, this is also when we write it manually, it's j, complex numbers. Oh, but don't worry about these complex numbers, okay? We don't really use them most of the time. I'm just showing you the structures, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
After this, we are not really going to talk about any.
It is the structure in Python. To write complex number, I have to write it with j.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But after you write, for instance, I write this something complex number 1. It's this 1, and the complex number 2, maybe 4 plus 5j. I have this value. For instance, I can multiply this complex number 1 with complex number 2. Of course, you can multiply it manually, but Python will take care of it. Let's see the result. As you can see, the result is actually this one. It gives you all the time with j minus 6 plus 13j.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, great. So now we have covered actually number data types. And at the same time, we did the arithmetic operation and assignment operation. Who doesn't know assignment operation by now? Maybe a recap. Assignment operation means whenever we assign a value to a variable, we call it assigning way, or another way, actually, it's storing a value to a variable, okay? And then arithmetic operation, you know it, that's addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, this the modulus calculation, and the floor division, and this the exponential. That's a very hard word to pronounce anyway. So yeah, this is
Question: what if you put the same different variable with the same value? How does the code understand? A equals 3 and B equals 3. So is it okay? No, A equals 3, B equals 3.
Of course, this, you mean this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing will change. But for instance, we get 6 here, 0.
Okay.
And
So
here,
nothing will go broken.
No, because we are working with the variable now. You declared, and the calculation will be done by the formula we wrote. Of course, if you change this to 0, it fell when it reaches here. Yeah? Who can tell me this? Why it fails when it reaches here?
Denominator shouldn't be 0.
Yeah, because we don't divide by 0, and let's make it fail, of course. Have you seen 0 division error, division by 0? Python is so smart that it tells us what the mistake we made was, and it was at line 22, and we go and figure out line 22 here. Yes, actually we divide it with a 0, so that's not a good idea. And let's fix it. And the process of fixing your bug, we call it actually is debugging. Yeah, great. That's a very good question. Now, so we covered numbers. That's how numbers are. And now we move on to Booleans, actually. I think after this, it's not going to be any more the revision. And let's create a folder, a new folder, and let's just make it part of the today's lesson, okay?
Hey, Sabina, this is not like a coding error, but it is an error that we can divide 3 by 0. Is that right?
Yeah, it's mathematical error. So it's a mathematical, but still it's also an error. So you have to understand the principle of mathematics, right? So it's a coding error too, because you don't do that. You should prevent your code from doing that. There will be a way to handle such kind of exceptions. So what if the value is going to be 0? Then when your code reaches actually here, it's going to it's going to fail, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
so you have to put conditions. What if the value is 0? So you have to handle that exception. If you don't handle that exception, your application is going to crash.
Okay.
So, but we can handle that. And the way of handling such kind of also exceptional cases, they call it actually graceful deprecation. It fails sometimes. Even when it fails, you have to handle it in a graceful manner. Okay, let's move on. So,
Sorry,
yeah.
may I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, just before you mentioned, if you update B as 0, so there's a bug because the division. So I found interesting thing is that if there's a bug in your coding program, so it stopped. I mean, no matter the following coding, they might be correct, but it stopped at the wrong, incorrect point. I mean, so do you understand my meaning? Sorry.
I will try. Go ahead. Or did you finish?
Yeah, I mean, if you, here you updated B as 0, so it stopped when this program is exiting 922. It stopped. It couldn't go on the next following
Yes.
coding. So so you, of course, there are some messages. You can find some message. There are some remind to ask you check your
Yes.
coding.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering that if so, it's the only way. You must you must solve the current problem so you can go on.
Yes. I think if I understood you, yes. So as I told you guys, if it's 0, it breaks. It doesn't go down. It just stops here. So now you guys are somehow curious, but I can implement it and make it pass to the next. But it doesn't need to know that now, because if I write some additional code, I will just make you feel more okay. So that will come a bit later. Okay, guys?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
thank you.
Yes.
was the question that in row 22, the answer should be something like impossible or something.
Yeah, you're so yeah, impossible. So because of mathematical reason, yes, because of mathematical reason, this is impossible. But from programmatic point of view, we can solve that. There's a way.
I mean, if the answer is impossible, and then the code can continue for the next line.
Yes, yes, you're right. So for that, you should add some kind of condition to skip this, and we will come to that in another topic, maybe even today if we have time. Okay, now let's just move on to today's lesson, and maybe usually I just do some notes before notes.md, just it's for me to take notes. So today we will talk about data types. Of course, we are talking about data types already. Why? Allow me please to write. Oh, please mark down not found. Why? Yes. Okay, great. Data types, and we talk about already numbers, and you know it, but we didn't talk about booleans. But I think it's even a good idea to bring this to here for a documentation purpose, because numbers.py. Okay, so booleans, and then strings, and then list, set, tuple, and dictionary. These are actually the main data types in Python. Now let's move on to strings. But before I move on to, do you have anything to ask about this? Okay, maybe not. So let's move on to strings, strings.py. What is a string? String is a data type. Again, a text data type. A text data type. Great. So what's the size? It could be a one length character, or just maybe a character, or a paragraph. Okay, let's do it. So yeah, this is a single character, for instance. Print A. Let's run this code. As you can see, A is stored there. Then maybe it could be a paragraph somewhere, like, let's see if there's some paragraph, Python. Yes, I can go and just take some okay. Can I give more text? Yeah, I like to take just this text, copy and take it. And then maybe a paragraph. And since it's the big text, I can better to put it like this. So as you can see, a string could be just one character, or it could be a huge text. It could be a paragraph or pages, many pages. So let's see the length of this. Len is a built-in method to check the length of this. So I think I can see just only one character. So it's going to be, this one is going to be, just tell me guys, 1, right? The answer should be 1. Okay, how many characters do you see here? Can you count it?
279.
Aha, you did your homework already, just you did. Let's see, print length of the paragraph. Did you count it manually? No, because if you count manually also, you will have a high chance of making mistakes. 489, is that what you said? I forgot what you said actually. Yes, 489. Actually, this is not only the characters, it includes also the white space. This space is included. Yeah. How about if I ask you to count the number of words?
Should I stop you here? So when you write a string, you use a single quote, but here on paragraph, you use, triple
I got it.
quotes.
So, yeah.
Isn't that for comments?
Yeah, so yeah, that's good. Last week we have talked about this, that whenever we declare a variable, I mean a string, it could be just like a single quote, or it could be a double quote like this. But actually, if you have a multiple line text like this, a huge text, you should store it like this, or this. So you have, so if you don't declare this, it would be just a comment. But now actually I assigned this value to a variable, so it's not anymore a comment. Instead, actually, this is a stored value. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I think that makes it clear. So if I'm interested to, actually there is this split method. Okay, what is the method actually? Something you attach to, if I say split, let's see what it does actually. You print it out, print. And then actually this method, for instance, you have a car, right? If you have a car, that car might have a driving wheel, it may have a gearbox, it may have other handles or tools which allows you to drive. This split is actually a method which helps us to split this text. And let's see. As you can see, now, do you see it is splitted, and now, and it changes to a word. That's great. Now you count the words. How do you count? Len. After you split it, you count. There is 72 words. Maybe this is hard for you to count. You can first store lengths, and then first you store this. And maybe no, I think it's better words. Words, because we have a paragraph. Because we have a paragraph here, the paragraph is splitted and changed to words, and now I am just length of words, and then now let's print the length. Okay, this code is somehow clean to read. Yeah. So this
Question.
Yeah.
For accidentally, if there is 2 spaces between words,
between,
there is if there is 2 space
yes,
gaps in
Yes.
between words. Can it understand?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. For instance, if you go and check, there might be already, actually there's no space, but let's add deliberately a space here, okay, as you said, and check. For instance, here we have only one space, right? But manually, let's add extra. Now we have 3 spaces. And actually these 3 spaces, the 2 spaces will be counted, and most probably we may have 72, maybe let's check. Yeah, actually it's targeting at the, because it's removing the spaces, the triple spaces or the extra spaces, and just counting the words. Yeah. But if you do this, now the problem arises. Have you seen? 94, because of this extra 2 spaces I added manually. So what actually, there are times in which we are interested to add something like this. What it means, actually split them at spaces. So we have 3 spaces here, so it will be splitted into, 2 times, one in this side, another in this side. So now our word increased by 2. Actually, those 2 words are just empty spaces. If you want to see, you may not understand what I'm talking about. Let me print and show you. Have you seen this? These are considered as a word, but actually they are not a word. So what we do, there is a second pre-processing stage to remove this space. So that will not be much of a worry. Yeah, great. So, but actually, this split method without any parameter or argument, it's just okay. So, as you can see, we have 72 words. But guys, is it a word? No. Is it a word? No. It's an acronym. Actually, the Python Software Foundation acronym, and this together were counted. So you have to think about cleaning those things, yeah? So that is actually cleaning the stage, but we are not yet matured enough to do that, at least for you. Let's just move on. Okay, great. How about if we want to just change everything to uppercase? Print paragraph uppercase. In this case, actually, everything will be changed to uppercase. Have you seen, guys? Yes. Okay, how about if we are interested to lowercase? Lower. So we change everything to lower, actually. Yeah, everything is small. And then there's title case. Title. Yeah. Python is so smart. They do have also this. Title means actually every letter will be uppercase. And surprisingly, there's a swap. Do you know what a swap means, guys? Swap. I want you to. What does the word swap means? Why?
It is the switching, but I don't know what
Yes.
is gonna switch in this case.
Yes, actually, yes. String has no swap number. Oh, really? String. So guys, now for instance, this is saying that, as you can see, when I hover here, instance of string has no swap. So what do? I search string swap in Python. I just go and check. First, most of the time I go for the first. And Where do they use swap here? Oh no. So I go, and another best site is what's the simple way to swap each of their offered training chair. At least I know.
Serena, I think we can use after declaring a variable for after split, we can use the words. Maybe can we use the words for swapping instead of paragraph?
Print, yeah, okay, let's try Python. And
word in a sense where the variable.
got it, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. String object has not attributed swap. Oh. Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
I think swap does the uppercase into lowercase. I mean.
Yes. Yeah. That's what it does. Swap. String Python.
You can check it in W3 school.
Oh yeah, so a swap is actually a built-in method, a built-in function, sorry. Print swap, and then for instance, if I say Python, so this should be, oh no, even not. Yeah, we don't care about that. Just leave this. I thought it has a swap, but there is some kind of.
Sorry, if you put swap case, I'm on the swap. If you put case, it's together, and then
your sound is a bit far.
If you put swap case, I mean it's swap case. The
swap case, yeah. Thank you so much. Swap case, yeah. Print. Let's. I think print. Let's try Python. Swap case, yeah. Let's try this with a small thing, and then yes. So as you can see, guys, I forgot the case. It's actually swap case, not a swap. So P was capital and then change it to small, and the others change it to uppercase. And then if you do this, the whole paragraph actually swap case, it just change everything. Yeah, so, but it will be messy. You don't do that. Do you do this? No. You might need some times to do that, but as you can see, it's changed to, this was capital, and now it's small, and this is again capital swap. So these are some of, and then another important, maybe status, this is really very important, methods for starts with and ends with. For instance, what's the starting word for this paragraph or for this text or for this string? It's the. Yes. Yeah. So let's try print paragraph starts with. But I think it's good to know first about, did we talk about booleans, guys? It's just a very short concept. I mean, boolean.view. Booleans are actually data types having a value true or false. Okay? So, for instance, is light on? Yes, it's true. Is raining? Yes, no, actually it's false. Of course, you don't have to be, I mean, is married? True. Such kind of, so the values is actually all the time just true or false value, and this is very important when we start conditionals. Yeah.
So it's like logical.
Yeah, and so now just let's remember that, or there's two values, either a true or false statement. Is everybody's here? Yes, if it's a true statement, it's going to be true. But now just let's say if something is on or off, or is raining, or is married, is a student. Is he a student? Yes, his status is actually student. So if it's a yes, that means true. So this is the value. We will come to that logical comparison a bit later, but I want to tell you that we have these two values. Of course, we can store all, we compare also something, for instance, print 5 is greater than 3. And this is a true value, and the value gets actually is true. By comparing, we get value. So the value will be true here. I will come to that. So usually this starts with and ends with gives you a Boolean value. So paragraph starts with the. Do you think is it true or false? Is it starts with the?
It is starts with upper the. In this case, it's false.
Yes, it should be false because I deliberately make the what's the T to uppercase. So as you can see, it's false. But now if I change this to uppercase, it should be true. And now let's check print what print paragraph and ends with okay, for instance, it ends with projects. Let's try projects. Is it going to be true or false? False, because it ends with actually projects and with the dot. Yeah, so maybe I can show you it should be false, and I have to add that dot to get true value. Yeah, so maybe I can extend it by 10 minutes because before we have the break, we have to have some solid thing. Yeah, okay, great. So can I cover all the methods here? Maybe no. So you should check 30 days of Python. Yeah, everything is there. So now we have seen some of the arithmetic operation already here. But how about when it comes to string? Last time we learned how to declare variables first name and my name, for instance, and my last name, and maybe this, and maybe my age, and everybody knows that. And maybe I want to correct my full name from these two, you know. I have my first name. I can actually sum them up, and last name. Okay, let's see the result. We call this concatenation. You can call it just merging, okay? If you see full name, the value might be a mix of the two names. So we need a space here. Space. Actually, this now is a string by itself, but it doesn't have a value. It's empty. And now it looks good. Maybe let's make it full. Yes, good. Now, yeah, so this is my, okay, so we call this concatenation. Maybe let's, for instance, print the length of my first name is equal to length of my last name. Now, as you can see, I'm using the length and this length. So it calculates how many characters for the first name and last name, and it compares. To compare something, we use two equal sign. You have never seen this before. So now actually we are talking about comparison operators. So I think my name is much, at least larger than my family name. So this should be false. As you can see, it's false. Maybe if I add one by my last name, it would be true. Great. So now, how about by this is 2, then print 2 is greater than 1. Is it true or false, guys? Just tell me.
It's true.
Yes. But I think you guys want to see if it's really true or false. I think, not sure if it's really big enough to see. I think I made it too much big. One step down, yes. Okay, let's see the value. As you can see, it's true. How about print 2 is greater than or equal to 1? What do you think about this?
True.
It's true.
Yes.
So,
Print 2 is equal to 1. How about this?
False.
False. Print 2 is equal to 2. How about this?
False.
Why?
Because the left side is an integer, the right side is a string. It's not 2.
Okay, so last time maybe I don't remember if we learned casting or not, and then after this we will learn casting data types. Casting data types. Actually, casting means changing one data type to another data type. So maybe this is going to be false. Of course, it's false. As you can see, false, but we can make it true. Let's make it true by casting. How can I cast this to?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you can see, now this will be integer, it will be casted to integer, and then I will get true value, as you can see. Okay, great. Print 2 is less than 1. Everybody,
False.
yes, it's false. Print 1 is less than 2. How about? Yeah, that's true. Print 1 is less than or equal to 2. How about this?
True.
Yes, true. Because it's or. So now you guys covered this comparison operators. These are all the comparison operators. They are done simple. And by now, I think everybody understands what it means, right? It's just very, very simple. Yeah. But the reason why, for instance, if last time whenever we print this, Sabine, Itai lives in Finland and he is 150, right? We wrote something like this. And whenever you concatenate a number with a string, you should change the number to a string. So let's do some casting. Okay.
Question.
Yeah.
If you say 2 is integer 2, how about if you type TWO 2? Text TWO.
You mean this?
Yep.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah, before we execute it, before we execute this line of code, let's do, let's do some experiment. This is a number, right? As you can
Yep.
see, it's a number, it's an integer, but this is under a quotation mark, and we see 3 characters. So definitely this is just a string, and this is a number, and this should be a false. Yeah, false. Yeah, so let's check this. Let's check this. Yeah, I removed that by mistake. Let's check this. Yeah, it's false. Okay, thank you. That's a very good imagination. Okay, great. So let's do the casting, guys. So I have a number here, and my number is actually, I would like to store 10. So 10 is actually a number. So what data type are you expecting? Please tell me, guys. What's the type?
Integer.
Huh?
Integer. It's int.
Yeah, it should be integer. Yes, it's int. So can I change this to a float?
Yes.
Yes, print. I can say float and then to num. If you change it to float, it will be 10.0 something. 10.0. Okay, let me have a gravity. I like gravity. No one lives without gravity, and that's why we love it, right? 8.1. Where's my? Okay, this gravity. So as you can see, this is actually float. So if you want to check, print type of gravity, and then it will be float, and you know it. But let's change it to an int. Gravity. So what will be the result for this?
Will be 9. 9.
Just 9. Yes. But instead, if you want, you can use round. We have this round built-in function, and if you just do gravity, I think it's going to be 10 because it's round. In a human way, it's round or just approximate the number to the closest integer. As you can see, it's 10. And even we have this ceiling print seal. Actually, that's something we should import. Okay, then let's change this to actually a string. Print, and then I can store it. Gravity, and then string, and stir, and then gravity. Now, as you can see, I changed the value to string and store it to that variable. So print and gravity string, and if you print it would be, you can't differentiate this, but how do you differentiate if it's a number or a string? Using type. Gravity string. Let's this decide. Yes, actually, we changed it. So what's the point here? You can change one data type to another data type when it's needed. Yeah. For instance, you may extract texts, values from this. For instance, I can see this 501. This is not anymore a number. So in here, it's actually a text. So you have to change strings to numbers when it's needed during extraction. But now still it's not yet the time to think that much far, okay? Yeah, that's string casting. Do you have any question here? Casting data types.
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, so you went one step ahead just to assign a new variable name, gravity string. But we can also just change it to a string using a print.
Yes.
String, right?
Yes.
So,
yeah, but this is usually something you print out is like nothing. But if you store something like this, that's actually a proper this is something you are using, okay? But printing out is just a test actually. The print is for us to learn what's happening. But most of the time when we write real code, we don't print much. In the system, in the software, there's nothing printing. The reason why I'm printing now and then, just to show you what's happening. But in a real life project, in a real application, it's just variables. After variables, it looks something like this, okay? That's why I declare. And if you declare it, reuse it. And just now, I can call it here, I can call it here, and that's actually a very elegant way. But now, since you just start, we print now and then.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a problem related conversion of the string to integer. Can I share my screen?
What's the problem?
Problem is like I would like to convert string to integer.
So a string, no, you can't. You can't.
Yes.
You can't. It's impossible. I know what you have tried. Yes, let me show you.
Okay.
For instance, number, maybe let's say num third. 2.5. What data type do you see here?
it's a string.
It's a string. So print, and now I can change this to actually a float. Let me show you. Num float, then I can just float, and then to num string. The num string, it was num string, now I change it to a float and stored it in this variable. Then let us see print type of num floats. By now I should get a float here. As you can see, it's a float.
Yes.
Yes, and then after this I can also change num to int, and then int the num float print type of num. By now I should get int.
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe I think at this stage, if you try to directly change this to int, it might not work. Let's try. That's what we tried maybe. Print int num string. Yeah, as you can see, this is what you tried. So you don't have to share with me. I know the problem and we solved it. Yes, great. So now we did the casting. I think, guys, you've been here for more than an hour, and it's much better if we have a 10 minutes break, but I can take a question before that.
One question for me. So I would just like to recap. So print is a built-in function type, and all these data type changes from integer to float and so on. Are these all built-in functions? And what is the main difference to methods?
That's a very good question. I love such kind of questions. Yes, guys, I know this question is not only for him. And his question is very clear, very, very clear. He asked, what are these guys just appearing now and then, print, type, int, whatsoever? Yeah. So well, the question is actually, what is the difference between built-in function and a method. Okay, great. Okay, built-in functions are just functions you can use out of the box. Have you seen print? Yeah. Print and then int, len. But methods are actually usually come with a dot, and you have to, have you seen? This is the method. This is the method. So you have to attach it with something. Yeah. And it starts with dot. Have you seen an arrow?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, this is, so you have to attach it with this. Python, I have a string here, and then if it's a method, it should be a method of something. A method of something. For instance, a car comes with a driving wheel, right? I've never seen a car coming without a driving wheel, unless it is a self-driving car. Even a self-driving car has a driving wheel or a gearbox or some kind of. So those are actually considered as methods to just maneuver or to drive that car, right? So now, for instance, a string comes with this method, a swap case, upper, lower, title, maybe a swap case, a split, replace. There are lots of methods, and even with starts with and ends with. But this, the print, float, they are by themselves. They are not attached with anything. Have you seen the difference now?
Okay, so method is always combined with some input data that you're changing, or
yes, and you have to use this dot next to something. You write some, for instance, something, a dot, and your method. Yeah, dot. But if it's a function, you just write my function and then like this. For instance, if you remember, round, it's just a function, and we put 5.65. What's the round of 5 points? Tell me.
6.
Yeah, 6. And but here it's like, for instance, I can even say string method. Most of the string. Let me check a number 10, and I can consider none. I want to see. Oh, I have to print it. Okay, so I'm trying to. These are the available methods, the hidden methods for related to numbers. That's why I'm just printing out and try to show you if something we can use. Number, most of the time it doesn't have that much of I never use of this real. For instance, how does what dot print? What does the result will be? Int objects not callable. Okay. Even float is not callable anyway. So yeah. Anyway, have you seen what I tried now here? I just attached it to this variable. Yeah. So if you try to do something like this, it's a method. But if you are just independent, but if it's a standalone by itself, like this, it's a function. So what are, but by the way, we are coming to the, after the break, we will talk about the built-in functions. Yeah? Yeah, but just You have maybe just to show you the functions we have here. Print is a function, a built-in function. Len is a function, a method, method, method. If you have a method all the time, dot with something, with that variable, okay? Great. So now let's have a 15 minutes break. I will see you after 15 minutes, or 10 minutes, sorry. Yep. Welcome back. So I hope most of you understand what we have covered in the first session. And now let's move on to the second session. And I hope this will answer questions of most of your questions. Okay, so I will talk about built-in functions.py. Really, most of the time, some people, the way they write their book or material and or teach may vary, and still I'm looking for the best way or the best step to teach, because what topic to bring to the first and take to the second, because if I teach you at the first built-in function, you don't know data type. So the first thing we should teach is print. We can't avoid that, you know? But what is this print actually? Is a built-in function, but I think it needs to also define what's the function now. Function is actually a set of code, a block of code that performs some task, okay? For instance, to add two numbers, a function that add two numbers, or a function do some calculation. For instance, the function of a calculator on a desktop application is to calculate number, but actually that calculation was made of from multiple different functions. So it's a collection of functions. But now we are talking about a small level, an individual function, which may calculate 1 and 2. So function is a set of codes or block of codes that perform a certain task. And we have different functions, built-in function and custom function. Custom functions. Okay, so what does that mean, built-in function? These are already made by someone, some generous, nice people. It's made and ready for you to use. Here, for instance, another nice function made by an awesome person, some, who knows, maybe the creator of Python. So this is the print function. What's the purpose of print function?
Just to display the any input that you give.
Yes, print is actually to print something out, and the purpose is actually to test. It's not even an application. You are not developing application by printing something. You are actually testing what's happening. So print allows us to print out something, to display something, as he said. Custom functions are going to be a function that you make or build, okay? If I ask you, create a function that takes a string and it changes the string to something, yeah? And that will be maybe in the third week or next week. Okay, great. So this is actually now you got what function means, right? So maybe let me just show you a custom function looks like. I have to make def and add two numbers, add two nums, and it may take a and b, and it should return a plus b. So when I call this function print add, so if I put 99 and 1, what will be the sum of 99 and 1? And everybody should know this. It's 100, right? So let's just run this. It's 100. So this is the built-in function I make right now. You don't have to know this. It's not. I'm just showing you how it looks like. Def, maybe square, make square. And I just square. And then it takes some number, right? I want to just change this to return and just return the square of some number. And if I just print make square, and then if the square of 3 is 9, everybody knows that's right. Yes, so these are actually built-in functions. So I just made them right now. But now it's not yet time. I mean, it's not the right time to make custom functions. Instead, we use built-in function. So let's see some example of built-in function. Okay, can you remind me the built-in function we used so far? Print. Yeah.
Yes.
Another?
Int.
Int, to convert to an int. Yes.
Yeah. Float.
Float. Yes.
Star.
Stir. Change to string. And input, maybe to get an input value.
Exactly. And many more.
Len.
Yeah, len. Yeah. And the list.
List, yes.
Tuple.
Tuple, yeah, we didn't use that one. Yes,
Dict.
tuple, dict,
set.
And set. Yes, it goes absolute value, and round. If you remember, round, I have used. You just go here. What are we having?
And format.
Yes, format also. Yeah, but an exhaustive list, where do you get? Git. Again, we go to 30 days of Python built-in function. And if you go and if you open this, we have an exhaustive absolute value, div mode, I have never used it, input, open, all, enumerate, int, or ord, string, any. Do you have to remember all this at once? No. Step by step, you just get to know them, okay? You don't have to remember this by now, but just the most common. For instance, minimum, maximum. I can just go again. Where is this? Yeah, minimum, maximum, sum, dir. It takes, of course, you have to have a parenthesis. And a help to get help. Open to openify. We're not going to open, but at some point we will use it. Let's also remind myself there I have a dict hex object slice sorted, sort and sorted. Now sort and sorted. I will explain this. I think this is enough for the time being. Format and the float list and row input now is just changed to input. So this is not anymore valid anyway, but we learn those kind of built-in functions through process step by step. Yeah. So everybody knows print, right? Yeah, print takes argument. Argument means something you put here. It could be a number data type. It could be any kind of data types. That's why all the time when I'm teaching guys, if you are very familiar with data types, and the rest will be so easy. So for instance, I'm saying 20, and that's going to be a number data type, and I'm about to print this number, yeah? Print, and then I can say, I just love Python because it's just awesome, right? Because it is just awesome. And now I'm just trying to print string, but instead of like doing like this, I can also just first declare that, yeah, text, you may call it just text, and then declare it something like this and print the text, and your code even looks much cleaner, right? Or more cleaner like this. Oh, great. So this is function, a built-in function. Now let's check again the length of that text, lane of the text. As you can see now, I'm using, but what do you see this? Let me show you guys. Now it's just a read. It's a warning, undefined variable, as you can see, because
Yeah.
instead of writing txt, I wrote text. And if I run it also, let me show you. Let's make deliberately a mistake and correct that. Oh, name error, name text is not defined. Where did you bring it? So that means actually I have to fix this. And now it's okay. Now print the length. Okay, as you can see, 46 characters, including the space and the dots. Did I use any method so far, guys? Did I use any method?
No.
No.
No, there is no
No.
animated so far, guys. Okay, now I want to restore text upper and text dot upper. And now I want to print this text and the upper form. And now if I run this, guys, by the way, you will see, oh yeah, because I forgot to. Now, if you see, the text is actually to uppercase. Did I use any method here, guys?
Yes.
Yes,
That's upper. Yeah.
upper is used. Okay, great. Text and then title case and then text and then title. And if you just print now, print text and in the title form, for some reason I'm writing it like this. And how many methods do you see now, guys, here? So far I have used two methods, the upper method and the title method. How many functions, built-in functions, did I use so far? The print,
Two.
the print and the lengths, guys.
Yeah. Two.
Yeah. Now let's declare num. We love num 10. If I just declare a number, I think it's going to be 3 or 4 or 10. I love them. Those are so simple numbers, right, to deal with. And now type. Num type and num. Actually, no, type num. Because just to reduce the complexity, I am storing it in a separate variable, and you can see what's happening, guys. Now I have here number and integer, and I check the value. It's going to be a string, and that value, the output is stored here. Now let's print out what type is it, num type. What type did we have? Let's see. Print. Oh yeah, that's crazy. Have you seen how I wrote print? Yes. Then let's check it again. As you can see, int. Of course, this is an int. Okay, let's move on. Now we can use the float, num float. Then I can just float to none. Yeah. And then num to string, I can change stir to 10, right? I'm just, now if I just print the type of num stir, What do you think the value of this? It's a number, but in a string form. It's a number, but in a float form. That's why the reason I am using such kind of variable names. Okay, guys, don't be confused. So it's a string. Okay, did I use extra still? I'm just using the same. I'm just using still just built-in functions. So we have used this, we have used this, we have used this, we have used this. Now let's use this input. That's so nice to get some input from the user. First name. You can just write input and then enter your name. Yeah, it's so easy. That means you're asking the user to give or to provide a data, and then that will be stored here. Okay, and then print the value. First name to check what the value is. Okay, as you can see, it's asking me here. Yeah, I just write my name. As you can see, it's printed out. So let's, instead of just printing first name, your name is this. Let's say your name is something like that. So then let's see. As you can see, your name is Sabine. Great. How about if we ask also age, and then input, enter your age. Okay, and then we want to say, print you are something these years old. How do we do that? So we have to change. Actually, it's easy because it comes as in a string, so it's not that much difficult to do that. So we can do the you are plus age plus years old. Yeah, so you can see I'm first I'm getting data from the user. I stored it, and the stored data is concatenating here. You are and the age, and then another string. Okay, let's see. Sabena, and then the age. By the way, do you see this part of the, let me just drag it a bit up. Yes, this might be a bit easy. Yes. And then 250. Yeah, you are 250 years old. Yeah. So now, but how about, for instance, if we calculate area? For instance, I may ask.
A question.
Yes.
Sabine, I think you sound younger than 250.
Oh yeah, that's true. I sound, yeah. I don't know why. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. Yes, I love such kind of question. Yes, that's true. Maybe I think let's do some calculation. We will fix this at some point with some calculation. Okay. Yes, we will figure out. Yes, that's true. I may sound much younger than this, you know? Yeah. Okay, great. So now, for instance, let's calculate some kind of area. Everybody knows what is this? The area of a circle, right? Well, maybe I think why area of a circle might be a very weight of an object might be easy. Weight is a physical quantity which can be calculated by mass times gravity, right? Yeah, just you multiply something, you have mass of an object and gravity of the Earth or some planet. Okay, doesn't matter. So when we change it to a formula, it's weight, mass times gravity. But as you can see, everything is, we don't have the weight, we don't have the gravity. So let's get mass from input, enter your mass. and then gravity input, enter the gravity. You never know, it could be in Mars or the moon or any, so it's not all the time 9.8. That's why we are getting the gravity. But if you know that it's just fixed, you don't have to have this. Okay, now let's calculate print the weight. Okay, so I am 75. Okay, great. And the gravity, I'm at planet Earth or on planet Earth, 9.81. And why it's asking me all over again? Why? Okay, let's just 75, 9.81. Okay, as you can see, cannot multiply sequence by non-int of a type string, because all the time anything we are getting from input is actually a string. And last time I told you to change this to
integer cast. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want you to think again. Is it an integer better or float?
Oh, it's a float actually. Since it's a continuous measurement, it's a float.
Yes, because if you use integer, there might be loss of data. So you don't want to have a loss of data. So because 9.8 is going to be rounded to
10.
9 if you are using, I'm using, sorry, if you are using integer. So we don't want that happen. So now we most probably fix this, and let's run again. I think, okay, starting, oh no, okay, 250 again, but we have a mass 75 and the gravity was 9.81. So as you can see, my weight is actually 735.75 Newton on planet Earth. So let's make this somehow elegant, right? Do you remember last time we used this F formatting, something like this? And then your body weight, yes, and then we just use this inject. We don't have to change it to a string. A string. We just Newton on, just Newton actually. This is good, and I don't want to be asked now and again or now and then, so I want to comment out this, okay, because it was asking me just to put my name all over again. 75 and 9.81. Now, as you can see, maybe you are not interested in this, the decimal point, so you may round now again, round, and then put it there. So again, 75, 9.81, and then if what?
It is, yeah.
Okay, great. Yes, a typo is very common, 9.81. As you can see now, it was rounded and we have a very nice to look at, right? Great. So what is it, a mated or is it a built-in function round?
It's a built-in function.
Built-in function. Everything is built-in function. We just used only two methods. This is the string upper and the string title, and we can use also other more string methods. So far we have used this, and now let's check list. List. What does that list means actually? Okay, list. Okay, by the way, let me tell you, when you hear the word list, is actually a list of tasks. It could be a list of tasks or shopping list, wine, or list of vegetables or whatever, or fruits. Yeah, that's in short. Or list of names or countries or numbers. We call it list. But actually, even a string is like in a form of list. Let's just language. What language are you learning now? A Python, right? Let's just a Python. So actually print list of lang. If you just pass the string to the list method, to function, built-in function, it will change it to a list. Let's see. Huh? Oh yeah, we have still this asking. No, let's comment that. We don't really want to fill that all over again, right? Yeah, have you seen this? Oh, we had a string, but now we have a list of characters. This is a list, guys. Anyway, list, let me show you. List, nums. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe just even to make it meaningful, I will show you. Okay, -3, -2, -1, and 0. I think your mathematics teacher at elementary school most of the time used to write something like this. What did he mean when he was writing this? Guys, tell me.
The whole number or integers, yeah.
So that means actually he was trying to show you the list of integers. So we have list of integers here. So as I told you, list could be a list of numbers, a list of integers, a list of real numbers, a list of animals and plants, because list is sometimes crazy. It's not only store only one data type, it can also store different kinds of data types, a mix of data types. It shouldn't be one kind like this. Okay, gravity in equation. Oh no, someone is too specific. I know. It doesn't matter. Okay, guys. So yes, it varies with. So we don't fight for significant digits here. So we can make it 10 or 9. So it doesn't. 9 something. It's okay. I can see some comment on the chat that someone is saying that okay, it's not. Yes, yeah, there's minor difference, but it doesn't matter. It's just an example here. Okay, we can leave that for physicists, okay, who really care for precision and accuracy. We don't care for accuracy. This is just an example. Okay, so now the list method is actually changes to something to a list. If it was an array, if it was a tuple, change it to a list. So we will talk about this later because list by itself is a wide topic. So we don't spend much time with tuple. Even we don't touch tuple again. We don't touch dict set because we will come to that on its topic. Absolute value. Who doesn't know absolute value? What's the absolute value of 5? Guys, tell me.
5. It's a 5.
Yes, that means actually just changing some number to positive. Okay, absolute. Yeah. So as you can see, it's positive 5, and we saw that already. And then maybe round off. We have seen round off, minimum, maximum, and sum. Yes, let's see. Print minimum value, no, mean value. Okay, I will show you something. Mean, and if I say the mean of -3 -20, 20, 110, whatever. What's the minimum number in here?
-20.
Yeah, -20 is the minimum number. Do you think is it a good idea to store it like this?
No, it's already reserved words, so we don't know.
Reserved word, guys. It's not a reserved word, but it's a method, a built-in. It's a built-in function. So it's not really. If I just print out, I will get a value definitely. Okay, I will show you. It's -20. Python is so smart. here mean it just, so don't make built-in function name as in a variable name. So change it a bit, mean value, okay? Since I'm going to store one value, so it's value. I didn't say it, values, okay? Remember, when you just use a very proper variable name, it shows that you really understand programming and you are writing a very high quality code. But if it's just messy and spaghetti code, and the readers will be upset and they don't even like to just read it, because reading a code is so tiring. Yes. Okay, just let's print this, and now this is good. Okay, great. So similarly, maximum value. Why I go this? I can just go for this value and change this to max. And then what's the maximum of these values?
It's 100.
100 is the maximum, and we just go print, and then again max value. As you can see, it's 100. Now let's see some of nums, or total. I go most of the time total. So sum, and I think I better to just, why I wrote it in the first place, I should have changed the name here, sum. Do you think I will get the sum of this? Print and then total. Let's try. Most probably we don't get. Yeah, it says type error. Sum takes at most 2 arguments, 5 given. But the reason why is actually the sum doesn't take such kind of parameters. Instead, it takes list. I have to change it to a list. Okay. So now it will give me the sum of this. So as you can see, this will be cancelled out, and from this take of 3, it's 7, 70, and 107. Yeah, crazy way of summing, right? Anyway, cancelled out, 7, 107, 107. Great. Yeah, so as you can see, we saw most of the methods. Now dir, actually it's really very important one. Dir, let's see, what is dir? For instance, you write some string, okay? Some text, or just text, and then some string, right? So what did you store here? A string, right? So maybe you want to know the methods available for string, actually dir, and then call text here, and then print it out, and it gives you the different methods available for manipulating the text. Let me show you. These are, just forget all the methods with the underscore, but just, have you seen, capitalize, case fold, center, count, encode, and the Swiss, we have used that, expand tabs, find, format, map. So as you can see, I just taught you few of the available methods for string. All these methods are related to string. For instance, with upper, title, swap case. Yeah, for instance, I lost in the beginning, I didn't manage to remember swap case. I just got confused with swap. I should have used the dir and then check, okay? Stripe, for instance, the importance of stripe. If you have some space, if you use a stripe, it removes this the space, the extra space. Starts with a split lines, to split it into lines. A split, we have used it. So this is just to see the available methods. Great. Okay, what's the difference between the help and dir? The help is actually, it gives you documentation. Okay, the print and help, and then text This will be a big text to read, and I prefer there. Have you seen now? And then it will just give you something. Oh, no, I thought I should get. Okay, no Python documentation found for some string. Use help to get the interactive help utility. Use a help stir for help on. Okay, so I think how it works actually, we just pass the stir to get, for instance, this is the stir, what to get about stir. Have you seen now the documentation? And then you just, this is how you down, and maybe when you just get very familiar with Python, maybe if you want to read the documentation about string, you can come and check something like this. But I think the dir just gives you everything you need to work with a string, so you don't have to come there and check. Okay, great, we're going crazy. And now open, we are not going to open a file now. It's not yet time to open, maybe in the 7th week or 6th week. Sort, yes, most of the time sort allows you to sort some number. Have you seen these numbers? Copy, maybe I can sort them. Sort, and then nums. Actually, we have to sort nums. Yeah, actually, nums. Sort, and yeah, this is how it goes. But these are already sorted out, right? They are sorted from small to large, so it's hard to, maybe I can just mix it. And now this is going to be 10, and now this is going to be again 1, so it's 11, and this is going to be -5 again. So this is just the mix right now. So let's now print sort. No, not sort actually, num. I will show you what's happening here. Actually, the sort is it a function or a method? This
It is a method.
yes,
Right?
a method, guys. As you can see, it's a method. Now let's do the sort. And I think I have to really remove this step for the help, because the help is, and also this, and it's better also if we do it at the bottom, and then we will have a chance to see it at the end. Maybe it's also print also the original nums. There's no origin anyway. I will show you something. Have original, this is the original, and after sorting we have this. So do you think it's sorted? Yes, of course, as you can see, -5, -2, it's really sorted. Yeah, from small to, yeah, I think it has also reversed true. And then if we do the reverse, have you seen we managed to change it to the other direction? So it takes an argument. By default, reversed is false. But by just applying that, you can change to different direction. I could explain the difference between sort and sorted. I think it's even not a good idea to do it now, because I will confuse you and start hating Python. So I don't like to do that. I will do that when you mature a bit. You are not yet matured for that. I know it. So sorry for using this word, but you understood what I mean. So, okay, that's all about built-in functions, guys.
Question, Mr. Savina. Can I proceed to my question? Hello?
Yes, yes, please.
Oh, okay. In related to sort function, we are unable to do print at the same time, putting the variable, right? Why that? What's the matter of not able to doing that? Since we have seen a lot everything by nested functions, we were able to we were able to do that, but in this case we are not able to mask the sort function with
Gotcha.
the print function.
Yes. Okay, so guys, so as you can see, maybe I think it's also a good idea to get this number down. Did we use this somewhere else? No, I think we didn't use it, right? So we can get it also a bit down next to each other. Okay, so what he asked actually, why don't you just put it like this instead? Why you wrote it separately? Okay, the reason why, I know from code number line 56, the result is going to be none. Let me show you guys. But the operation will be implemented or executed, but actually the value, no need to do that. As you can see, it's none, but still I'm getting what I'm looking for. The reason why the sort method, it does the operation, but it doesn't return a value. What does that return? And because it doesn't make sense for you now, what is returning? I should teach you a function first. I mean, what a function is. Function, hey, function, come a b and return something. So that means it doesn't return anything. Either they put it like none or just like this, it's none. So we will come to make that clear when we learn function. But just what this step is actually what it does, it mutates the original array or list, and then after this nums is not anymore the original, it is changed. So actually this kind of data mutation is not good. We have to have a copy, and it's better to work on the copy instead of mutating the original. Mutation means actually data modification or modifying the original data. And that will be also clear a bit later. That's why I said that I don't like to mess you with the sort and sorted. Sorted doesn't mutate, but this mutate. Maybe I think we touched it already. So let me just confuse you a bit more. Okay, great. So I was saying that what is this mutation? Are we in a biology class or something mutation? Yes, of course, yes. The coronavirus mutated and we have different strains of corona now. The South African type, the Brazilian type, and the UK type. Okay, but here in Python, actually, whenever we say mutate, that means modifying the original. So in programming, we try not to mutate the data because you never know where it's mutating. And also if you mutate, deliberate mutation is okay. Yeah, you should know where you are mutating. But if you are mutating without knowing or unknowingly, that's, oh no, that's not good. So let me show you. Now, this sort is not a very good thing. So I comment out. Okay. Sorted, nums, and then sorted, and then I call nums. Okay, I call this nums. Okay, and then now print sorted nums. After sorting with this, even as you can see, this sort is actually a method, but this sort is actually a function, a built-in function. So if you see now, I have my sorted values here. And the original is also print nums. Just because it's intact. The original nums is intact as if you print out, yeah, the original is this. Have you seen the difference? But this one is just mutating everything. That is, if I turn this on, since it starts mutating, so you don't see the difference. Did you understand what it means, guys? Because now we made it already a high level a bit. But if it doesn't open eyes, it doesn't matter. We will come to it at some point.
I'm sorry, Sabine. Do you mean that when we use the sort method, still it is in memory, the numbers list with the sort methods, and when we try to add the sorted nums with sorted methods, sorted functions, or it's going to change another mutation or sorting, right?
This one, this just keep the original as it is, and it create a copy of the original with sorted values. This, so this one sorted. But if you use this num, as you can see, num.sort, this method, if you use this method, your original will be just mutated or modified. You will not have the original copy anymore.
Okay, we cannot assign to a variable for in case of the first one. We cannot assign.
You can't avoid with that XYZ, and no, you can't avoid by doing at the first place. You just do this. It go referenced by reference, and it affects this. You can't. So let me just show you. Now, do you think now num is okay? Because you thought that after you do the operation, you store it in XYZ, right? Let me show you. Okay, now let's print these nums, but maybe I think it's better if I print the nums 2 times, here, and print XYZ. For your surprise, this and this will be the same, but this will be different. Let me show you. Okay, this one from 56, as you can see, it is the original because there was no any operation, right? But after this operation, the nums will be different. As you have seen, it's sorted out. Of course, you don't store anything with this operation. As I told you, even this is actually, the value is none. We stored none from this operation. Have you seen the difference? Even you can't store anything from this because the sort, as I said, the sort method return nothing or none. What is a none? None is actually a value, an empty value. You can't count it. It is not a 0, but it is a voidness. It doesn't have any value. That's better to say for the time being. It's a kind of a data type also by itself in Python, also in JavaScript. But in JavaScript, we don't say none. Instead, we say undefined. Yeah, I think this part of the topic it's just okay. So, but the point is, it's just very simple. Let me make this point clear once. If you use the .sort method, it mutates the original. The original will be changed. Everything will be changed. But with here, in this method, we can have a copy, okay? We sorted it. It doesn't affect the original. And after sorting, we store it here. And then if we check the original here, it's the original. The sorted out, sorted. Yeah, great. So don't be puzzled by that. Determination is one of the big concept. Most people do not understand it right away, so it's just okay for the time. We will come to that later, okay? In another time after some maturity, I call it again. So operators, let's come to operate. Do you have any question before we move on?
Yes, please.
Yes, I have. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Tom.
Timo here. I'm not sure. I dropped from the slides a couple of times, but did we cover the replace command? For example, if I have a list comma separated floating values, how to replace it to dot separated?
What?
If I have a list like
List with
2,5 and 3,7, and I want to replace it to commas with dots.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you meant. Yes, as I told you, I have mentioned it here when we were talking about strings. We can have lots of methods, okay, but that we didn't cover all of them. Yeah, we'll print paragraph dot replace, and then you replace something here. So for instance, I want to replace all this space with a hash. Yeah, so what you do is actually you have a hash here, and then the next will be is the space. No, the space with a hash. I have a space and I want to replace the hash. So when I print out, so instead of a space, what you see actually a hash after each word. So let's see. Have you seen?
Yeah, okay.
So replace.
Good, understood.
So the problem is, no, I can't cover everything here, but all the time what I usually say, I just want to, I mentioned it by word, but didn't do example. Yeah, guys, come here. So there will be lots of things. For instance, even I didn't cover the different escape sequence in string. And how do we actually extract different wait, there was some this is more detail and to the point, and you don't have to look at this. For instance, we didn't talk about there because
Okay, no need to continue. Understood.
so I think I'm just touching a bit of like, and also try to also do the exercise here. And have you seen how many methods we have in strings? Capitalize, count, and with expand. Oh, the list goes on, guys. Yeah, so I would really strongly recommend you to come to this site and check. And of course, when you finish it, the view will be an extraordinary. Okay, great. So thank you, Timo.
Replace.
Hello?
No worries, mate.
Yes, great. So let's move on.
Another question, Mr. Savina. So far, we have seen like different data types such as integer, string, float, list, and so on. We didn't see the data type. Is it in a Python? Is it a date type or something?
No,
Date.
yeah. Okay, good point. Now we are not yet there because we have to import something. Okay, importing is not something we teach at the very beginning, but it has its own time and it will come, and we will know how to handle time, because time is very important thing. Physical quantity, if we call it in a physics way. Yes, so we will come to that at some point when we deal with modules, okay? Yeah, I think
Okay, thank you.
let's have,
Question.
yeah?
Yeah, I have a question about replace. Like
Yeah.
if in a sentence, at the beginning of sentence, if I have an extra space, and
Yes.
at the end of the sentence, I have another extra space. How can I remove both with the same
Okay.
sentence?
Yes, that's a very good question. So let me show you. She said that she has a string stir with spaces. So why too much space everywhere? Have you seen? How do you see? This is the question she asked me. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you guys, as I told you, we have, did I close that? Yeah, I think I have closed
Yeah.
it. But yeah, so this here, when I was talking about, we saw some method that is called
Strip or strip.
strip. So it's somewhere, but we don't care. We can just do that stuff here. Print stir with space. Now let's see how it looks like when we print this out. Okay, first let's see. Have you seen actually the spaces are actually reserved? At least you managed to see it in this side, but it's hard to see it in this side, right?
Mm.
So let's see. We use just uh, stripe without any just the stripe works for both sides. Okay, now as you can see it starts from this, so the other from the right is also, but if you want to do it on the left or the right, I think there is also right stripe or left stripe, but I usually go for both for some reason. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Was Did I get your question all right?
Yes. Thanks.
Great. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes. So I think it's better to have another short break and just have some air or water or coffee or tea, whatsoever you have around, and come back after 5 minutes. Okay, guys? Good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, there is. Yeah, I'm using United States keyboard, as you can see, and if I'm using the Finnish keyboard, I will have a hard time to use it properly. For me, for instance, I click, I select something like this, and Control and do you know the keyboard next to the enter? Next to enter. I don't know how it looks like, and that's the minus and the hyphen together. That's on the Finnish keyboard. It's those. Most probably the shortcut I use, but I think this is how you search. Shortcut to comment and out multiple lines in Python, Finnish keyboard.
Can Mr. Savinik, Control K, Control C, can we do that? Control K, Control C.
I'm coming to see you. So Control plus. Can you
Control-C.
can you try this? Yarmo, who asked this question for the Finnish keyboard? Control plus 4. Actually, shortcut for commenting outlines. Python coding is the problem is for Finnish keyboard, but for the other, it might not be that much a problem. I think other people who are the United States or people who are using the international keyboard, you may use Control plus, yeah, even if my keyboard is Have you, can you try this? Control plus this, the slash sign near right shift key. Okay. Keyboard. Great. Yes, visual is all the time much better. In my case, control and this. So anyone who is using the United States keyboard, it should work control and this key.
But Asavna, control plus C also works for maybe control plus C.
Control plus C, let's try control plus.
No,
No,
it's already taken. Control plus C is for copy.
yeah.
It's already taken, right? Control plus K plus C.
Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. Control plus K, but that's really very complicated shortcut, guys. But you try. It's long. The shortcut is a bit long, but I think you may have. For me, why you care? If you have using United States, control, and then this. Only two keyboard, only two keys. No, I mean. Okay, control K plus C. I can also try that. Control and K plus C, but it's for me, it didn't work, and it's really tough also to handle. Control K and C, and it didn't work for me either. Okay, but guys, now this is a keyboard specific.
Excuse me, what was the question?
To comment multiple codes at once, multiple lines of code at once. For instance, in my case, I can do this, and students want to make this comment. Yes, that was the question. Okay, let's move on, guys. So you just figure out by yourself and help each other. This is very specific to different keyboards, so I don't have solution for everyone. Sorry. Okay, let's move on. I think the last could be operators. Operators.py. So actually, we learn operators already when we revise in the revision. I can just take some code from there. Maybe if you don't have question, it's better to mute all the time, and then there will not be any background noise. Operators, assignment operator. Do you know, guys, assignment operator by now? That's just the equal sign is an assignment operator. So whenever we declare a variable, whenever we declare a variable, we use an assignment operator. Yeah. So A is equal to 4. So this is an assignment operator. Then arithmetic operators, guys, we have used all the arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators, and then like plus and the minus and addition, subtraction, actually multiplication, division, and this the modulus, that's remainder, floor division, and exponentiation, which covered all those parts. And then comparison operator, actually we checked also that. Maybe I can get that comparison operator. Where did we cover that part? I think it was here in the Boolean part. Oh, I don't know. Yes, we have covered here already the comparison operators. So I can just take this and maybe I can just put it here. Comparison operators. Yes. Yeah, we've been comparing, right? Yes, we love comparison, if something is equal or not. But why? It's, did I, yes, you know, I, in my mind, think about JavaScript all the time. I'm JavaScript ninja. Okay, so it doesn't matter now. Okay, because as you can see, there is no variable declared here and we don't need that. Yes, so we have already covered, nothing to cover. Okay, maybe I think something we didn't cover is logical operator. So let's talk about logical operator, logical operators. .py. Actually, in Python, we have this and, or, note. This is like and means, I think you may have learned during elementary school maybe about some statements. If John and Jim come, something will happen, right? So those two guys should come for something to happen. So it's a kind of statement. For instance, if I say it's a kind of, let me say, I think it's better if I just simplify it. A, like 3 is greater than 2, and 4 is greater than 3. So what do you think about? This statement is actually true, and this statement is also true. What will be the result? What result do you expect?
True.
True. And how about if we just make one of the statement just false? 3 is greater than 2, but actually 4 is less than 3. What do you think about the result?
False.
False. And then how about if we just make both false, and actually this false and false doesn't give you true. Of course, it's going to be false. With an and conjunction to get a true value, both statement has to be true. But if we change this to an or, let me just change or this, like I can just change to or, as you can see now, now 3 is greater than 2, or 4 is greater than 3. Yeah, both are true. This statement is true. This, yeah, it's true. 3 is greater than 2, or 4 is less than 3. What do you think about this?
True.
Yeah,
True.
because
Yeah.
it's or, it's one of the, and 3 is less than 2. That's false. 4 is less than 3. What do you think about this?
False.
Yeah, everything is false, so it should be false. And now we are left with, now we saw this, the and, that's the kind of conjunction. We saw and then we saw here or, and then now let's see note. Print note 3 is less than 2. Okay, first let me just, only this part, is it true or false? Only this part. Is 3 less than 2 or
True. True. Oh, no, false. Sorry.
false? False, not, so we negate the false,
Yeah.
and then it will be true. Let's see. As you can see, it's true. How about if we add additional notes? Not this. This will be cancelled out by this, and this will remain. So I think the result will be just false, as you can see. So it's double negation, yeah? So the double negation, just then you will get this value. Now you know how to negate, how to use the or, and how to use and. This is all about logical operators. So if you know logical operators, that means you compare things, and it's not more than a comparison. You can actually combine statements. So if you know this now, let's move on to conditions, the beauty of conditions.py. So you know, life is full of conditions. Yes, if Corona, go or not. So it's if it rains or not, if it's shiny or not. So you compare, you just check condition. It's not even one condition, you check multiple conditions. I usually say everybody is a programmer. The difference between a programmer and a non-programmer, programmers, they can change daily activities to code, but just normal people, they just keep it in their mind. That's the difference between a programmer and then programmer. So in general, everybody is a programmer because you process information, you make decision, yeah. So for instance, you scheduled to show up today at 5:30. So you were scheduled, you were planned to come, and you come. So you programmed something actually. You wrote a pseudocode in your mind or maybe on your agenda, and you showed up. Yeah. So that's actually, you made a decision. Now we're about to make a decision. So to make a decision based on some condition. So what's the condition, for instance? Let's make very small condition. Let's say x is equal to 5. If, so to make a condition, if x is actually greater than 0, we can say print x is positive. As you can see, first we declare a value at the top, and then if x is greater than 0, then this is going to be positive. So any number greater than 0 is like a positive number, right? So do you think this line of code will be executed? Yes, it should. As you can see, x is positive. Oh, great. But how about, so to write a condition, this is the condition actually. So maybe if you want to write condition, you can just declare it like condition, and maybe you can put your condition here, and then just call your condition here. And so just to make it fancy, look fancy, and to make it more clear, maybe, yeah, if condition. So actually the value, this, let's print out condition. What's happening there? Oh no, don't do that, because we have been learning this comparison, right? So we have 5 here. 5 is greater than 0. Is it true or false? 5 is greater than 0. Is it true or false? True. The true value will be stored in here. But I think, why is that condition is like that? Okay, and I have to also make a condition here. As you can see, x is positive. But how about if I change this to 0? I will give you time to think. So take this 0 here. 0 is greater than 0. Is it true?
No, it's false.
It's false. So what will be the result of this?
Negative.
It doesn't return anything, right?
Yes, nothing. It's not returned, and the false you see is coming from there. So it doesn't return anything. So as you can see, this block of code can be executed only if this is true. So our condition is so poor. It works only for one case, if it's only true. So let's add if. What if not else? Okay, then print it is x is negative. Okay, so now x is negative, but our value is actually 0. But it's not a true value, right? It's not true. So that means we need even another statement. Else, elif. So instead now we don't need even, just let's write the condition right there. So I wrote it that way just to make things clear. If x is greater than 0, it's positive. If x is less than 0, maybe I think instead, if x is equal to 0, print x is 0. 0 is also by itself one integer, right? A kind of integer. Else x is negative. Do you think we can solve it this way? So now at least how many conditions we have? When it's greater than 0, when it's 0, and when it is not 0 or greater than 0. But at least we have a kind of 3 conditions. X is 0. Yeah, great. Now let's create 10. It should be positive. X is positive. How about minus 10? X is negative. Yeah, even you can make it F and change it to this. You can inject the value, the X, F, and inject X, F, inject the value X like this. And if you run now, yeah, minus 10 is negative.
Is that when you should go for a walk? It's a Celsius.
What did you say?
I think is that code defining if you should go to outside and take a walk, if that the 10 is minus 10 is Celsius also.
Minus 10. I didn't get your point.
I mean, this code defines, should you go for a walk?
Should you?
If the temperature is minus 10, then it's
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
negative.
Okay, great. Yes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we will also come to those kind of condition now soon. Okay, just give me, since we have at least 10 minutes for today's session, we come to that. Okay, yeah, I got the point. Okay, great. So as you can see now, we have, can we add more condition, more else if we can add more conditions, but in this case we have only just to, I mean, for a positive to check, we need actually this is enough. But for instance, someone asked me, let's check the weather today actually. Okay, weather, or is raining. Yeah, true. Okay, if is raining, true. Print, please take an umbrella and whatever. If I make a typo or it doesn't matter. Okay, so as you can see, you have this so you check this, the condition, it's true. When you compare true with true, it should be true, right? So we should print, please take umbrella. Oh, great. But how about if this is false? What's the result? Nothing. There's nothing, okay, coming from this. So I want to comment out this because it will confuse you. Nothing is coming out. So then if it's not raining, actually it might be shiny. Go out freely. So then if it's not raining, just go out freely. Yeah, go out freely. But I think the weather could be, it's not just, I mean, raining or, I mean, sunny. It could be cloudy, it could be snow, it could be lots of conditions. So then instead of like, is raining, let's just check, say weather. What's the weather today? rainy weather, and I will check if weather is rainy. Compare it. Rainy, please take umbrella. Else weather sunny. Print. Go out freely. It is just a shiny day. How about if it's cloudy? Elif weather. Oh, that's JavaScript. Cloudy. Print. No one knows about today's weather. It's just cloudy and gloomy. Yes, it is. 510. Yeah, for now, for sometimes whenever you have something like I have this, you can use this escape character to escape this extra apostrophe. Let's start with this, guys. Now, please take umbrella because it's rainy, right? But if you change it to sunny, it will say, yeah, go out freely. It's just a shiny day. Okay, you can add as many conditions as you have. Weather. Oh, I see. I see cold, like Finnish weather now, right now. Okay. Frozen. Whatever, I don't know what.
Snowy.
Hmm?
Snow in southern Finland.
Snowy. Print. Just where properly. You might be found frozen. That's what I'm afraid all the time for some reason. Okay. Yes. Okay, so we have different condition as you can see, but now it's not a very good condition as you can, because we are changing this now, and then let's get this data from the user. Oh, enter with input, yeah. Now enter the weather. Okay, now for instance, I can run. The weather is actually sunny. Yeah, go out freely. It's just a shiny day. Okay, now maybe cloudy. And no one knows about today's weather, just cloudy and gloomy. How about now if I just give some random text? Go out freely. So this should be something else. I will no one knows the weather. Yeah. Okay, now I get just give some random number, value. No one knows about the weather. Now let's trick this program actually. How about if I say sunny like this? Users are stupid. You have to understand the behavior of users when you develop an application. So your user might give a value something like this. Still, this actually says sunny, right?
Yeah.
What will be the
Actually, it's gonna be wrong input, but we can manage it.
Yes. As you can see, no one knows the weather. So to handle such kind of things, it's easy. Just we can add here to lower everything. So we changed it actually. So now after this, if I just put oh no, I can just, who cares? I just try it from here. Yeah, so sunny. As you can see, we managed to handle that. Go out for it, just a shiny day. I think we finished at the right time and we managed to cover what we planned to cover today. I'm so happy. So you guys, I strongly recommend you to work on it, to practice. So how do you practice? Of course, we have a material here. Just go step by step. It is so easy to follow, so digestible. Digest it, chew it, do whatever. So yeah, I'm just proud of this material. It's so easy to follow. Today I was reading this material after 2 years, and it's so nice to just follow. And every exercise has a meaning why it's there, to teach you some feature of the language. So do go through and read it. It doesn't take to, for instance, this really help you to learn how to do operations and declare variables. Yeah. So for instance, solving such kind of things. That's how you learn. I don't follow you and check you. Did you finish this or that? No, yeah, because you are matured enough to take care of your. You're responsible for your task. Okay, so now let's plan. What are we going to cover next week? Yeah, I will just take you here. So far, we learned strings covered, operators covered, variable built-in functions, and okay. So, and for your surprise, we covered conditionals. But next week, we start with a conditional by revising, and directly we move on to lists. After lists, we move on to tuples. And after tuples, if we have time, we may talk about functions, and then we come back again to tuples and sets and dictionary. But I think at least we will cover list, loops, and functions. If we have more time, we may check tuples, sets, and dictionaries. Sometimes I don't know how much time it takes. Okay, I think this is the plan, and I will write what I mentioned this on the Telegram again, and that's what you need to prepare. So by the end of next week, it would be nice if you would be around here, if you cover around day 11, so that would be great. I don't promise you to finish 30 days of Python by this lesson. We just learn here the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, we just scoop a little bit of this. Yep, do you understand what I mean? It's very, it took me more than 600 hours to prepare this, to put it together. So it's just too much. So how was your learning today? Let's evaluate how much did you learn. Let's face it, from 1 to 10.